All right. Hey, hi guys. Hi Alexa, I'm glad you made it. All right, well, let's see here. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose, just like always. And thanks you guys for all of your support, and right up to these very last few classes with me. And I have been lucky enough to get some emails from students with videos saying, what do I do now? So that's always going to be available. Send me messages, videos, and I'll help you with whatever you're doing, okay? No worries. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose.
Bring the awareness to the breath here. Begin to notice how the body moves as you breathe. Without necessarily changing anything, maybe you naturally begin to lengthen the breath as you become aware of it. And there's no right or wrong way to breathe. And clearly you've done something right. You've gotten this far. So now it's just fine-tuning and observing. And begin to lengthen the space between each side. Take out that space between the inhale and the exhale, and that space between the exhale and the inhale, where the mind is most calm and focused. Just take a moment here to smile gently to yourself. And reach out through the fingertips. And walk the hands on over to the right side. Lots of length on one side, lots of compression on the other, and breathe the same way. And walk the hands back to center and over to the other side. Walk the hands back to center, yogis. Keep the hands shoulder width apart. And you'll start to develop that downward current here. You'll start pushing down through the shins and just see if that is all you need to bring the torso up. Keep the arms straight. Push. There's no weight in the hands at all until you start leaning forward, right? And then sink the hips. Keep the hands nice and light. Just push and lift and lean and bring the gaze forward. Sink the hips and exhale here. Push and lean and bring the gaze forward and inhale. And exhale. Push and inhale. Exhale. Start to lift the pelvic floor as you push down. So push, lift the pelvic floor, lean, bring the gaze forward, and inhale. You start to wake up these currents and help them to become aligned. Exhale. Inhale. And this time bring the chin and chest down in between the hands. Exhale. Inhale. Forward onto the, hold on one second. Where'd my mic go? There we go. Inhale here, and then exhale back to child's pose. Inhale. You guys keep doing this a few times because I think my bra just came undone. Oh my God. Inhale. Exhale. Oh my God, that was awesome. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to assume you're in child's pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, maybe lift the thighs up this time. One more time to child's pose and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, kind of pull back a little bit here. Inhale, lift the thighs. And exhale, lift the hips to down dog. So maybe this is your first time, maybe not in down dog. Just kind of check out this down dog, and you can start to move the hips side to side, walk in place, take one leg up behind you at a time. Whatever feels natural for you. And breathe the same way. Start to walk the hands back to meet the feet. And push down through the feet here. You can cross the arms. Let the neck relax. Bend the knees if you want to just let the belly rest on the thighs, but keep pushing down through the feet. And bring the hands to the mat, walk them on over to the right side, and press the opposite hip back. Same breath. Walk the hands back to center, and on over to the other side. Hands back to center, yogis, and then walk them toward the front of the mat. And come back into down dog here, and then start to walk the feet up to meet the hands. And you can keep the feet hip width apart here, or bring the toes together, but make sure you've got a little bit of internal rotation. So you want some space between the heels, and start to push through all four corners of the feet, and allow that to bring you up to standing, just like child's pose to tabletop. It's that same downward current that's going to do that. And then we'll take a few moments here on Tadasana. Push down and draw energy up. Lift the arches. Lift the kneecaps. Push more and lift the thighs and lift up through the inner thighs.
And all this pushing and lifting will support the lift at the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. So that lift at the pelvic floor, yogis, we talk about this a lot. It's a vertical lift that kind of combines with a little bit of this in and up of the low belly, right? So it's this upward current that begins to support you through your practice. And it requires a lot of support. Lift the heart center, take the shoulders down and back, press the palms together actively, and create that space in the armpit area. We'll go through a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Bend the knees as much as you need to keep the spine long. Inhale, lengthen. Plant the hands, step or hop back to Chaturanga or Ashtangasana or onto the belly so you can measure where the hands are. Inhale, up dog. Use the belly, lift the hips, exhale, down dog. Lift the pelvic floor and reach through the sit bones. You can lift the toes, make sure the front of the legs are active. You're not just stretching the back side of the body, but engaging and integrating the front side of the body. And on the next inhale, bring the gaze forward, step or hop the feet up, land softly, finish that inhale here. Exhale, Uttanasana. Push and inhale, come on up to a vertical, reach up overhead. And exhale, Tadasana. Push and inhale. Draw the low belly in and exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Same breath we had in child's pose. On the next inhale, yogis, lift the hips nice and high, float the feet up, land softly. Exhale, use the belly to pull the torso in. Bring the gaze forward, push and inhale. Top of the inhale as the fingertips touch. And exhale. Inhale, push through the feet. Exhale. Keep the legs active. Inhale. Exhale, even with space in the armpit area here. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the pelvic floor and reach through the sit bones. Push through the feet and lift the arches. Same action, same energy. Nice work, yogis. On the next inhale, lift the hips maybe all the way up to your handstand. Land softly here. Exhale, Uttanasana. Push and inhale. Come back up to vertical. And exhale, Tadasana. take a couple of breaths here, check in with the effects of our teeny tiny sun salutations practice. And go ahead and hop the feet hip width apart, sink the hips, reach through the fingertips. So in this chair pose, Utkatasana, push your butt back so that the knees stay over the ankles. Versus this version, we're going to do this one here. So without tucking the tailbone, you need your low back later in life. So lift the pelvic floor and even kind of reaching through the sit bones and pushing through the feet here. Mula Bandha. Stick your butt out. And then on the next exhale, plant the hands, lift high up onto the toes. The knees are right there for Bakasana. Pull the feet up, use the inner thighs. Keep the gaze forward. Bring the feet down, hip width apart, and inhale, Utkatasana. Even use the inner thighs here, kind of pull them together energetically, and lift the pelvic floor and reach through the sit bones, okay? And push through the feet. Plant the hands, lift up onto the toes, and there they are, your knees right up on the backs of the arms. Keep the gaze forward, lift the feet, Bakasana. Pull into your center, push through the heel of the palm here. Keep the gaze forward. Forget about upper body strength. Pull into your center more. Try to get a little bit tighter in this shape. Bring the feet down, hip width apart. Inhale, Utkatasana. Good. So this is essentially cat-cow. We're rounding the spine in crow pose and then lengthening the front of the body in Utkatasana. This is your cat-cow for the day. Plant the hands, scoop the belly. Pull the thighs together. And pull your feet up as high as you can to your buns. Bring the feet down, hip width apart. Push and inhale, Utkatasana. Do this one more time each side. Mula Bandha. Push so much through the feet that the toes just kind of lift up without even trying. Plant the hands, Bakasana. Really easy transition. Plant the hands, lift the toes, it all comes together. You deliver the knees onto the backs of the arms. Use the inner thighs more, lift the feet up more. Get high and tight. And on the next exhale, take a vinyasa. Nice work, yogis. Inhale, jump through to Navasana. Lift up through the, out of the pelvis, lengthen the front of the body, space in that armpit area here. Inhale, lengthen. Plant the hands, lift up onto the shins on an exhale. Push and inhale, bring the torso up. And exhale, Ustrasana. You can stay on the tops of the feet or tuck the toes. Push and inhale, come on up. Come on to the tops of the feet if you tuck the toes, and then jump off the tops and take a vinyasa. You know, I love that, jumping off the top of the feet. We're gonna need the tops of the feet later. Inhale, jump through. Oh my God, this fly, oh my God. Veronica, help me. Inhale, Navasana. Lots of space in the armpit area. Supposed to have composure as a yoga teacher when the fly is all around you. Mula Bandha, space between the heels. It's all the same. If you can straighten your legs, go for it. Inhale. Plant the hands, lift, and exhale. Push and inhale. Exhale. Push through the shins and the tops of the feet. Inhale back up to vertical and jump off the tops of the feet and take a vinyasa. Super fun. We're going to do that 2 more times each side. Inhale, jump through to Navasana. Space between the heels. Lift the pelvic floor. Space in the armpit area. Space between each side of the breath. It's all that sacred space. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Push and inhale, lift up out of the pelvis. Exhale. Just push through the shins. Inhale, bring the torso up. Take a vinyasa. Inhale, Navasana. Push down into the floor. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come on to the shins. Inhale, bring the torso up. Exhale. Inhale, bring the torso up. You can plant the hands and take a vinyasa or come on into a tripod-based headstand. Inhale, bring the legs up, and then
To take a vinyasa out of here, bring the legs parallel to the floor and just push the feet back. Bring the gaze forward. Inhale. And exhale, down dog. Nice work, yogis. Let's go ahead and go to the wall. We're going to work on Mayurasana today. This ought to be good news. So, if you are walking the feet up the wall or kicking up at the wall, I want to spend some time on giving you some tips on how to progress in this inversion, all right? I think I got it. So, I don't know what to do with it now. Oh, I didn't. Okay, never mind. So, is this an ideal situation, having the hands parallel and this 90-degree kind of shape? Not necessarily. It's going to depend on your shoulders. If you are kicking up into Mayurasana, forearm stand or forearm balance or feathered peacock, whatever you want to call it, if you lift up to it and you find that this starts to naturally occur, then keep them right where you end up and then start from that place instead, right? This is where your shoulders want to be. This is what's happening. So maybe it happens here. Maybe you naturally, want to bring your hands together like this. None of those things are what defines Mayurasana. Just this part of the body defines it, all right? Forearm balance. So whether your hands are down or together, I even like to do it with my palms facing up. So hopefully you guys are already upside down and you've tuned me out because I'm talking too much. So go ahead and kick up or walk the feet up. When you are pushing up by walking that foot up, we do this a lot. And so if you are doing this, push and think about lifting the hips up over the shoulders, all right? Rather than pushing the shoulders forward. You know that dolphin thing that people do where they lean forward and then back? That does nothing for this inversion. It only teaches you to do that thing, right? So what happens is when you push into the wall, you kind of do this because you've kind of myelinated that action, right? So you just lean forward. Well, keep the shoulders right where they are and focus more on lifting the butt. Not moving the shoulders like this. Push and lift the butt. So you have to teach this shape that it has to stay stable and that we're eventually going to put all of the weight on it. Does that make sense? All right, well, anyway, you're still upside down. Oh, fly. I love you, fly. Let's be friends now. Okay, I've changed my perspective. So a really good way, if you are able to kick up at the wall, then it becomes, kind of this test of endurance, right? We want to stay in it, we want to balance right away, but just come back to the breath that we have been practicing since child's pose. Come back to that space on either side of the breath. Okay? Because that's what we need in order to teach the nervous system that everything's cool. So if you want to start balancing in it, my recommendation is to just move a little bit further away from the wall, and so that you can start to get a wider center, wider kind of base, right? So you can play around, or just keep that foot on the wall. You can start to, this bringing the feet together, don't even worry about it. It's easier to find that balance with the feet wide. And then it's all about duration, right? How long can you stay in it and still breathe softly? I wish you guys could answer me right now. But anyway, email me. Does this make sense to you guys? And you can do this also in handstands and headstands, right? Just moving a little bit further away. We're going to work on those in a minute, okay?
So just moving a little bit further away from the wall. If you feel like you're somewhat getting the balance, then the next step, if you are wondering what the next step is, to not use any momentum getting into it. So any inversion that you're working on, it's really about keeping the legs super energized and using and understanding the tilt of the pelvis, all right? So if I've got one foot on the floor here and one leg up, my pelvis is kind of tilted back. If I want to pick that leg up, it's going to be about tilting the pelvis forward. So there's no momentum. Keep these legs super active. So it's tilting it back, scoop that belly, and tilting it forward. Up. And keep the legs super active. Okay. And don't worry about getting the feet together. And I get a lot of questions about how do I get the back bend out of Pincha Mayurasana? Well, there's no way. There's only one way to do it, and that is to tuck the chin up to the chest. So like you've got the gaze forward here, your neck is, you're lengthening through the front of the body, your gaze is forward, you're in this position. You're in a back bend, right? So it's hard to be in a back bend here and then straighten it here. And the spine doesn't really like that very much. So in order to get straight up and down, you kind of have to start to tuck the chin and bring the gaze up to the toes. So you start to pull in, kind of like you can tuck the chin and bring the knees in. So it's like kind of coming into child's pose in forearm balance, right? So embrace your back bend in these inversions, except headstand. But in a handstand and pincha, just embrace it. Keep working on it. Send me videos. I'll help you, all right? So let's go ahead and work on handstand the same way, okay? Kicking up, pushing into the wall. Kind of that same thing. I had a student send me a video the other day, and what I realized was as she pushed into the wall, she was kind of just pushing the shoulders forward and not lifting the hips up over the shoulders. So that's what needs to happen, right? This versus really pushing and lifting the hips. And then and until that happens, don't worry about taking a leg off or trying to balance, because honestly, if we can devote some time and patience to developing the fundamentals and the dynamics of these inversions, the balance will come on its own. It will. It will just, one day you're going to be like, oh my God. Okay? I promise. If you're patient, it will happen. So we are in handstand now. Lots of good upside down stuff today. Handstand. If your wrists get tired, you can always come back into forearm balance. Hey, also I want to say this to people that are just practicing their handstands. They say like, oh, my wrists get so tired. Yeah, they are going to get really tired, and they're going to be sore, and you know, there's a difference between sore and pain for sure. But that achy feeling, you've got 8 little bones in here. It's kind of this cool web-like structure of bones, and if you aren't, you know, accustomed to putting the entire weight of the body on them for very long periods of time, then yeah, they're going to get sore. So build up slowly, and then give them lots of loving. All right. Sore is okay, and it makes your bones stronger anyway. This is good compression that will make them stronger. All right, we are still upside down. Same thing in handstand. Don't worry about a big old back bend because you're going to get a balance easier in a back bend with the feet. If you've got the feet wide like we were doing in pincha, then that is a back bend anyway. So it's kind of one or the other. You can't have a back bend and not have a back bend at the same time. So embrace your back bend. It's going to be great. And then you're going to build up strength and you're going to build up endurance, and not just physically, but also in your confidence. And that's going to be awesome. And then it won't matter if you have a back bend or if you're straight up and down because you're in a handstand and it's going to brighten your day. So we're still upside down. Stay with it. One thing too, I'm giving you guys homework. This is everything we're doing today is homework. So this, we've done this a few times. Everybody has a dominant side. If you feel like one side is doing more of the work, it's because it is. So I think this is an important practice, is to start to lean a little bit more onto that the non-dominant side, whatever side that is for you, right? Just whatever side that is. Just lean and put a little bit of extra weight on there. Not forever, but maybe just check it out, a half a breath, come back to center, and slowly start to send that message like, hey, other side, I think you're awesome. I'm going to give you a little more attention. All right. One more minute. And then you can take a couple of breaths in child's pose if you like. We've been upside down for a long time, which is awesome. Do this every day, please. Don't stop doing inversions just because I'm not here to pester you about them. Let's meet up in down dog. Yogis, from your downward facing dog, inhale forward to a plank position. We'll come into Vashisthasana on the right hand. Mula Bandha, lift the hips nice and high. A little bit of space between the heels. Exhale. Take Vinyasa. And inhale forward, Vashisthasana on the left hand. All right, use those bandhas. Lift the hips nice and high, some space between the heels here. And exhale. Take a vinyasa, please. Inhale forward to a plank position. Open up to Vashisthasana on the right hand. This time, if you want to lift that top leg up to any version, maybe grab the outer edge of the foot or the toe, hold on to the knee, or bring that foot to the inner thigh. If you have that top leg lifted, make sure you get into all four corners of the bottom foot, okay? If that leg is lifted, go ahead and bring it down. Come onto the bottom knee, push and inhale, And exhale into Parigasana. All right, so we've been pushing through, remember when we were pushing through the shin and the top of that back foot to jump into Chaturanga? Push in through that area right now and see what happens, okay? And start to rotate the torso up a little bit. Look up at your top hand and breathe. But notice if you're just kind of sinking into this, push through that leg and that foot. Inhale, bring the torso up. Go ahead and plant the hands, come into a tabletop, but keep that left leg lifted. Reach back with the right hand for Vyagrasana. Kick into the hand, pull back with the hand. And go ahead and come right back into Vashisthasana. Bring the right hand down, step into Vashisthasana. Nice work. Exhale, take a Vinyasa. And inhale forward. We'll do that on the other side. Come onto that left hand. And any leg variation here that you're working on, take the top leg up or bring the foot to the inner thigh. And if that leg is lifted, go ahead and bring it down. Bring that bottom knee to the mat, push and inhale. And exhale, Parigasana. You can keep those toes straight ahead or turn them out. Just depends on how much external rotation you like. But push through that shin and the foot and bring the gaze up. Mula Bandha. Inhale, bring the torso up, yogis. Plant both hands, kind of pivot. Bring that, keep that right leg lifted, reach back with the opposite hand. Vyagrasana. And go ahead and release. Step right back into Vashisthasana. Take a Vinyasa. Nice work, yogis. From your downward facing dog, inhale, jump through. Exhale, lie on the back. Bend the knees, plant the feet hip width apart. Push and inhale, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Totally up to you. Push and lift. Exhale, come on down. Take a 1 breath rest. And push and inhale, bridge pose or upward bow pose. Exhale, come on down. 1 breath rest. And push and inhale. Exhale, come on down. And 1 breath rest. You can bring the knees to the chest and roll on up and take a vinyasa, or bring the feet overhead and do a backward roll out to Chaturanga Dandasana. From your down dog yogis, Trianga, Mukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana, jump through, bring that foot right by the hip, and exhale. Remember this push down through here? Keep doing it. Reach for the toes through the heart center. Inhale, lengthen, push off the top of that foot. And we'll do that on the other side. Inhale, jump through. I hope my left side will work one day. And exhale into a forward fold. Keep pushing through the top of the foot and the shin. Space in the armpit area, even here. Inhale, lengthen, and push off the top of that foot. Yogis, inhale, jump through, same thing, bend the right knee so the foot's by the hip. And bring that left leg to half lotus, push through this foot, and it's gonna kind of just carry you through this twist. You can reach around behind you, get the toes, or grab your pants. And slide the hand under the knee with the palm down. Bring your gaze over the back shoulder. Keep pushing through this foot. This bun should be way, way up away from the floor. Inhale, bring the gaze to center. And then go ahead and straighten this leg. We'll jump off the top of that foot again. Inhale, jump through. Oh, Bharadvajasana. Right leg to half lotus, push, and let that push kind of carry you into this twist. Keep pushing, just so that it should make you lean into this more. Inhale, bring the gaze back to center, yogis. Go ahead and release the twist, straighten the leg, push, and exhale. It's all done on a half of a breath. Nice work. From your down dog, inhale, jump through. Take the feet wide, reach for the toes or the outer edges of the feet, and exhale into a forward fold. Keep the legs active. Even if you're only this far, keep the legs active. So you want to use abdominal strength to pull the torso into this forward fold and still keep reaching through the heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Go ahead and release, and I'm gonna give you a couple of options here. You can take a vinyasa or bring both knees up over the shoulders. Push and lift right into Bhujapadasana. Squeeze the knees together. If you took a vinyasa and you're in down dog, go ahead and jump the feet around the arms. If you're in Bhujapadasana, all you got to do is slide down. And we're going to come into Kurmasana. That's as far as I'm going. If you can straighten your legs, go for it. But keep the feet only mat width apart, and try to bring the hands only mat width apart, so nothing's sticking out to the sides. Push the knees into the shoulders. Kurmasana. If you can straighten the legs, then lift the heels up off of the mat. Nice work. Inhale, lengthen. And one last vinyasa here. And from your down dog, inhale, jump through. Exhale, lie on the back for Shavasana. Take a deep inhale. And relax the jaw. Let the tongue drop from the roof of the mouth. And smooth out that little space between the eyebrows. And begin to bring the awareness back into the body. And back to the breath. Begin to move fingers and toes. And circle the ankles and wrists. And roll the arms and legs in and out. And turn the head to one side and then the other. Take a big stretch up overhead, yogis, and stretch all the way down one side of the body and then the other. Hug the knees to the chest, roll all the way over onto your left side, and then all the way over onto your right side, and come on up to a seated position. Keep the eyes closed. And bring your hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra, where we connect our everyday self with our infinite self. And we'll chant one Om. Take a deep inhale. Om. Allow a smile to spread across the face, yogis. We are all one. Namaste. Thank you for the privilege. Waheguru. Fearlessness and mercy at all times. That is the message of Shiva. Have a good one. Do your homework, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.